So before we explained what is the idea of echad, he brought down from the Gemara Chativa Achas, and he brought down the three pirushim in the word echad. So he said that echad means ein kayotze boy. So we explained previously in Ois Tes, what does it mean ein kayotze boy, that there's nobody like Hashem? He's echad, only like Hashem. And the fact is that he said that the Eibishter combines Gvul and Bli Gvul together. The fact that Malchus creates Bli Gvul in the Gvulim, which is an idea of Nimna Hanimnois, that's only Echad, only the Eibishter can do. So now the Alter Rebbe continues, Yud. So now we need to understand so how does this echad? The Gemara says over there, you made me echad, I'm gonna make you echad. And one of the perushim of made me echad, that there's nobody like you. So we explained what it means, ein kayetze bei, nobody like Hashem. What is the meaning of ein kayetze bei Yisrael? There's nobody like him. Nobody like the Yisrael. What is the echad, the chativa achas, that the Yidden are unique? So the idea is the Rebbe is going to explain that the Yidden have a unique power, that what they do brings about the doing of Hashem, hamshach of Hashem. That's a power unique to the Yidden. The nations of the world, they can do whatever they do, but there's no bringing down. Their doing doesn't bring down a hamshocha. Masha'enkein, a Yid, even when he doesn't do a mitzvah, even when he just do a general act, if he does it l'shem shamayim, he can be mamshich, tremendous hamshochas. That's the unique of a Yid. But the Inam Razal, our sage of blessed memory, said, HaKadosh Baruch Hu maniach tefillin, that the Eibishter puts on tefillin. What does it mean, the Eibishter puts on tefillin? The Gemara says, tefillin demora alma ma kusiv buhu. So what is it written in the tefillin of the master of the world? The Gemara asks. And the Gemara answers, Umika amcho Yisrael goy echad, that who is like your people, one nation, a goy echad, they are a goy echad, one nation. That says in the Eibishter's tefillin. What is the meaning? Upirish HaKadosh Baruch Hu maniach tefillin. What does it mean HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts on tefillin? So HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Bechina Zoh. That's the level of Zeir Ampin, the level of the Midas of Atzilus. What does it mean? They are the HaKadosh Baruch Hu. They put on tefillin, meaning they're mamshich tefillin moichin in Zoh, moichin emidas. Umaniach tefillin. What does it mean, maniach tefillin? Hainu hamshochas moichin lezoh. That is bringing down moichin into Zoh, moichin into midas, Zeir Ampin. Maniach HaKadosh Baruch Hu maniach tefillin, puts the tefillin, meaning the hamshocha from the tefillin, from the moichin into the midas, into Zoh. The sages of blessed memory say that on the verse it says he instructs, he tells his words to Yaakov. So what does it mean he tells his words? His words, that which he does, he tells Yidden to do. What he does, he tells Yidden to do. But which means he tells Yidden to do what he does, meaning that when the Yid will do it, that will cause Hashem to do it. Pirush al yidei Yisrael oisim al yidei zehu oisa, through the Yidden doing the mitzvah. That's the way the Eibishter does the mitzvah. The Eibishter is maniach tefillin. We're mamshich from the level of tefillin into the Zoh, Kadosh Baruch Hu maniach, and that happens through the Yidden doing the mitzvah. And that means, Mashahu Oisa Emer L'Yisrael Lasis, he tells the Yidden to do, so that their doing will bring about the doing of Hashem. To through the fact that a Jewish person puts on the tefillin below. Al yidei zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu maniach tefillin. That way, HaKadosh Baruch Hu puts on the tefillin, which is hamshochas hamoichin lezo. That is bringing down the moichin to zo. We bring down moichin to zo. When we put on tefillin, we bring the maniach tefillin, the tefillin into zo. Shezeu dalet parshas the tefillin. Those are the 4 sections of tefillin that are in the parshas that we write in our parshas, Kadesh V'Oyin Kiviyacho, which represent Chochma Ubina. That's the level of Chochma Ubina. And then the other 2, and Shema V'Oyim Shemoya. And then you have this other 2 parshas of Shema V'Oyim Shemoya, which is the level of Das. Why is there 2 parshas? Because Das is divided into Chesed and Gevura. It's the creates through Das, Chesed and Gevura. So Das is 2. So that is the level. The tefillin is the level of Chabad, the level of Meich. That happens through putting on the tefillin. And when a Yid puts on tzitzis, al yidei zeh HaKadosh Baruch Hu misativ b'tzitzis. That is the way he causes that Hashem, the Kodesh Baruch Hu, should put on tzitzis. V'chein kol ha-mitzvahs, and likewise with all the mitzvahs. The davke al yidei sha'is Yisrael oisa ha-mitzvahs lemato. It's specifically, it's only through the fact that a Jewish man does the mitzvah below. Kavayachol HaKadosh Baruch Hu oisa ha-mitzvah. So to speak, Hashem does the mitzvah. The Yid brings down Hashem doing the mitzvahs. This is also the meaning of the pasuk, "V'lishmoir es kol mitzvosov," to guard all of his mitzvahs. Mitzvosov is the mitzvahs of Hashem, to keep all the mitzvahs through the doing of the Yid. Shehein oisim, that the Yidden are keeping and cause the oisim v'goyrmim. They cause, they make, and they cause this mitzvahs of Shalmailo, the mitzvahs of the above. So, this is a tremendous, great praise for the Yidden. Through the mitzvahs that they do, they cause that He, blessed Hashem, should do the mitzvahs. And this power, what we're saying, that's only a Yid, because the Goyim don't have that ability to bring any Hamshacha Milamayla. What is the idea? We say that it's Echad and there's nobody else like him. The Isa b'Medrash Rabbah, it says in the Medrash Rabbah al Posik, Cheit Oto Yerushalayim. The Posik says, Yerushalayim has sinned. So the Medrash says, V'chiyakum einam choitim. Do non-Jew, why does it say Chot Yerushalayim? Do Akum, Avedis Chov Mazolas, the Goyim, do they not sin? Elo she'akum einam klum. But the Akum is nothing. We're not talking about Akum. The Asiyosam einem Mailav einem Umayrid Klal. Whether they do or don't do, it doesn't bring up or down at all. It doesn't matter. Abel Yisrael, but the Yidden called Dover Toiv Sha'osim, every good thing that they do, Av She'einem Mitzvah Mamash, even if it's not an actual mitzvah. Hareheim Mamshichim Al Yidei Zeh Hamshochas Alakus, they draw down through what they do, they bring down, extend godliness. Okay, the Isa Bezoyhar, as we find in the Zoyar Bahayenuka, there was the Yenuka, there was the child over there. Sha'omar lahu chamino bireicha dilevushaychu deloi karisen kriya shema. I see in the smell of your garments that you hadn't read Shema. Why didn't they read Shema? V'hainu mipnei sha'osku b'achnosas kalo, because they were occupied in the mitzvah of bringing a kala under the chuppah. And through this mitzvah that they were doing, himshichu oisa hamshocha shal yidei kriya shema, they draw down the same Hamshocha that is Shu of Shema, which is Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. When we say the Shema, we say Hashem Echad, which is Yichud Avo. We bring down the union of Ava Eim, Chochma Bina, the Yichud Zun, the Yichud of Zov and Nukva from the Midas and Malchus. And they were doing Achnosas Kala, which wasn't exactly the mitzvah of Shema, and yet they accomplished the same thing. The same thing. And also, through the union of the Chosan and the Kala, Nasa Yichud Lamaila seems to be an act, a Gashmistic act, but they bring down the Yichud Chosan and Kala, the Yichud Lamaila. Ukemaimer, as we say, Ish v'Isha Yud Kei Shere B'neim. We're saying that if an Ish and an Isha, the Yud and the Ish and the Hey and the Isha, that's the level of Yud Kei, is blessed, it rests among them. So they are bringing down the Yud Kei through their Yichud of Chosan v'Kala. V'lochem v'vorchim al zeh zayin brachas. And that's why you make on that the 7 brachas. But all these are still mitzvahs. They're maybe not the mitzvah of Shema like it is, but then there's also a very physical act, but these are still mitzvahs. But even even if matters that are not a mitzvah at all. If it's done with intent for the sake of heaven, so through this, we draw down revelation as godliness. Just simple act, like we say in the Gemara, when a person puts on his shoe, you make Hashem, the blessing to Hashem, who's given me all my needs. So you see, by just putting on a shoe, you're making already a bracha of Osalikot Tzorki, that you are mamshich the godliness. The Al-Yidei Levishas Min Olim, through putting on shoes, you're mamshichim liyos, you bring down the level of the pasuk says, Mayofu pa'amayich bana olim. The pasuk says, how beautiful are your footsteps in shoes. What is the nalayin? The matat nikra nala the shechina. The angel matat is called the shoe of the shechina. The sandal is also called the sandal. And Lekutei Torah, and the Maimer that starts with Mayofu Pamayich, explains what is this shoe of the Shekhinah. What is this matat? Shezohu b'chinas haparsa hamafsekes bein atzilus libya. That is the curtain that interrupts in between Atzilus and Bria and Yitzira, HaChoife al Horegel, that hovers and covers the foot. What is, that's the foot is Bechinas Malchus, that's called the Regel, that's the last Madrege within Atzilus. The foot, that the shoe, that covering for that foot for Malchus, is that curtain that is between the parsa between Atzilus and Bia. So through that, the world will be in a limited way. So what is the meaning? How beautiful are your footsteps in shoes? That also in the shoes, that also in the shoe, there should be the beauty of the steps. Ba'al Yidei, should be the revelation, the yofi. And the shoes serve as a means for them to be nimshach, the parsa. Through the shoes, you can receive, you can walk. So you can receive the hamshocha in the na'alim, so that's going to bring the yofi, the hamshocha in the na'alim. Valderech, similar to the pasuk, where it says v'hidrichten bana'olim u'k'meshikosim b'makam achar, as written elsewhere. Harei, so here you see putting on a shoe brings down the Yofu Pamayich. You bring down from Malchus and Tibia, you bring down the Amshocha, the Yofi. So in matters that are not mitzvahs, putting on shoes, you still draw down through this revelation of godliness. This is only the Yidden have that power. Kinal b'shem hamedrash. I said before in the name of the Medrash. And this is what means that the Yidden are one. There's nothing like it. How do Yidden have that power that what they do is so effective that it brings down the old Giluyim El Maila? Because Zahu Mishum Shebecho Bachar Havaye Liyas Loi La'om Gomer. Because Hashem chose you to be His people. It's a bechira from Hashem. The Eibusha chose that way. That what we do matters. Biyadua, and it's known Shazehu HaBechira Be'etzem B'Neshamas Yisrael. This is the essence choice in Neshamas Yisrael. Loi Mishum Kiyum HaMitzvah Torah Mitzvahs. Not because we do Torah Mitzvahs, but it is higher than what we do. It is an essence choice that the Eibusha chose Neshamas Yisrael. Ukamesha Kosuf, as the Pasuk says, it is only in your forefathers that God desired. That's why they have the power to bring down through their mitzvahs the level of the mitzvahs of above. That his mitzvahs he does. Also, in every matter that they do for the sake of heaven. Even though it's not a mitzvah, you bring down through that a revelation of godliness. Anything we do, as long as it's l'shem shemayim. Because they are one nation, they're echad. That's the echad uniqueness in the land. Binyone eretz in matters of the eretz. By calling min hametzar dinyone eretz, through the calling out min hametzar of matters of the eretz, min hametzar. Anoni merchav yudke, we get responded a merchav, a widening of yudke, the highest level merchav ha'atzmi, the Ein Sof, the wide essence of the Ein Sof that comes down through the level of mitzvahs. So now it goes back in Ois Yud Aleph to what he started of the Maimer, the two interpretations of Mayim Rabim, that the level of a Yid who is so intensely yearning to Hashem cannot be quenched by all kinds of Giluyim, but he wants the Merchav Ha'atzmi, he wants this higher level, Nohoris Lo Yishtafuha, and he Dafke wants to connect with the essence of the Ein Sof. How does that fit? The Rebbe says, asked with the Medrash, says that the Taiches that Maim Rabim Yוכלו with Yidden seem to be, it's a love of the Eibusha to Yidden, and Yidden seem to be an aloma drege in the fact that Achislan Ketana, as the Medrash Rebbe quoted in the beginning, they're also sinning and everything else. The Rebbe brings out, even when the Yidden are the lowest madrege, yet they have still in themselves that they want the highest level, even in the level of when they're the shval hamatzah, the low level, they still are not satisfied, but with the giluyim from the Ein Sof himself, not with any other giluyim. Yudal. Zehu Mayim Rabim, and this is Mayim Rabim. The great waters cannot quench, cannot extinguish the love, and the rivers cannot overflow. The Mayim Rabim Heim Haiz Boinenus Vasogav Avon. The great waters are the reflections and the grasping and understanding that the person understands in godliness. All those inyanim in which he meditates and is able to appreciate Hashem. All these cannot extinguish the love and to quench the thirst of the Neshama Yisrael to godliness. But the rivers, which are the revelation of Gan Eden, which is the Gan Eden Atachton, the Gan Eden Atachton, the Gan Eden Elyon. These are all rivers. They're not Mayon. They're still the rivers. They flow from the Mayon. These are revelations. These are Tainug. Lo yishtavu. They cannot float it. But here we're saying Begam kasher Yisrael heim b'shval hamatzv. Even when Yidden are on a low standing, da'achois lo nukitano. Says we have a small sister. The sister is small. The Yidden are small because their merits are few. That's the pirush of the Targum and Rashi. Rabbi brings down. They come with an argument that the Yidden are sinners like them. Still, even at that stage, through their service, when they do an actual mitzvah in practice, in action, when they do it with a very simple intent for the sake of heaven, they reach the level of the wideness of the essence, which is higher than all the revelation. The lochein, and therefore, the meditation, reflection, even the revelation of Gan Eden, even at that low stand, if they do the mitzvah, they do it l'shem shamayim, all of these revelations, lo yuchlu lechabes, they cannot extinguish, v'lo yishtafu, they cannot overflow, laha'avad Yisrael, the love of Yidhav, l'muhusev atzmus yizbarach, to the essence, blessed essence. That is where the Jewish souls are rooted. Because there is no thought that can grasp him at all. So nobody can really understand. So through Giluyim it can't come down. Even when we talk about the earliest thought of Adam Kadmon, only when it is captured and dresses up in Torah mitzvahs, that's how we get the merchav ha'atzmi. As the Alter Rebbe explained, why the Rabim lo yuchlu lechabes, the Horis lo yishtafu, but dafke through the Maisa mitzvahs with Nezeh. And because of this reason, also these great waters, which is the nations of the world in the translation of the Targum, that is the kings of the nations of the world. The Maim Rabbim are the nations, and the Hores are their rivers. Those are the kings of the Mesoilam. The Sareim and their officers. They cannot flood and take away from that love that Hashem has to the Bnei Yisrael, according to that Pirush, the Pirush HaTargum v'HaMedrash, as the Targum and the Medrash. The Av Shem Choytim, even though Yidden sin, and yet we don't get angry on them. And the reason is because Hashem chose you. That's the choice in the essence in the Neshamas Yisrael. Because they are rooted in the essence, actually, the mamish in the essence, that is even higher than the root of Torah mitzvah. So even if they sin, so they're not doing the Torah mitzvahs, but they're still mushroshin in the atzmas. And therefore there's no anger in them. like a child. Like she doesn't follow, doesn't do what the parents want. You don't get angry at her. Because this baby child, this baby girl, her essence is mushreshes ba'atzmus ha'ava'im, is rooted in the essence of the father and the mother. In such a place that all other matters, the ava'im, the father and the mother, they want to behave, and the thing. There's other matters the parents want, but the daughter, the child, is rooted in such a place that all other matters of father and mother, they don't take up any place. Doesn't matter. And likewise is by the souls of the Yidden. They are rooted in the essence, actually, so to speak. That's why you don't get angry at them. The Yidden, even if they stray, but still, the Eibusher chose them and they're rooted in our place, we don't get angry at them. Even those Yidden that say, as it says in the Pasuk in the Navi, let us be like the nation, like the families of the lands. So says Hashem Elikim, it shall not be. This shall not be. If not with a strong arm, with an outstretched hand, I will king over you. I'll bring you into the tradition of the covenant. Ki ani Hashem, you know that I am Hashem. So then Hashem gives them, which is a Kadosh Baruch Hu, as kol hoin beisei. All the treasures, the Pasuk says, in Yitin ish as kol hoin beisei, the Eibush that gives them hoin beisei. B'chochma yivne bayis u'b'svona. It's with wisdom. You have the Chabad, the Chochma bin and das, as the Pasuk says, b'chochma yivne bayis. With wisdom, he builds the home. With Vuna, with understanding, with Bina, he's koinen, it's prepared. U'bedas chadorim yimalu kol hoin yokor v'noim. And with the level of das, the rooms will be filled with all precious and beautiful, sweet things. Eibush gives them all. All hoin beisei, that is the beisei, the Chochma bin das, all the treasures. The Gam Yitin Lem Kol Abizav Asholo the Melchemes Goig, as he touched in the Medrash, that Hashem gives them also all the spoil and all of the fortunes of from the war of Goig. He did not notzach b'meheiru b'yameinu, for we will be victorious very quickly in our day. Al yidei Mashiach tzidkeinu, through Mashiach, a righteous Mashiach. And this was the Maimer that the Rebbe said on Shabbos Parshas Toildos Mevarach Machodesh Kislev Tavshin Yud Zayin, and then later on it was published on Yud Kislev in that year.